Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today where I'll be looking at your mathematics. So in today's lesson we'll be looking at question 6 of this question paper. So I hope you guys are all able to see, and again I'm assuming that you can clearly hear me when I speak. For the last time, Shreyas, I know your network is powerful on your side. Can you try to respond if all is in order?
Yes, sir, yes.
So you can clearly see over there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So what I'm going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, in today's lesson is to go through question number 6, to read through the given statement, do a bit of an interpretation on the graph, and most importantly, show you exactly how you answer questions in relation to this question number 6. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm about to say is massively. Hey, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, Shreyas, please make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. If I had time, I was going to repeat these 10 times. Okay, so now let's quickly read through the given statement. In the sketch which is given, the following graphs are represented. So just in case if you want to read where I'm reading, guys, there should be a button on your screen where you can click on back, then you go back to the group. Otherwise, if you can be able to listen, then it's fine. If you've got another device, make use of that other device to refer to what I'll be reading, and then watch on the other device whatever that I'll be writing over there. So these are the graphs which are represented in the given sketch. So I'll just write down those functions. So we've got the first one being f of x, it's equals to 3x squared minus 12. We've got another one being g of x, it is equals to x plus 2. And then we've got the third function being a to the exponent x plus q. So the last statement says A and B are the x-intercepts and C is the turning point of F. So every time when you read the given statement, guys, try to refer to the sketch so that you can know exactly what they're talking about. So can you see? The statement says A and B are the x-intercepts and C is the turning point of F. There is F. So you can see there we are having a shape of a parabola, of which we'll explore more related to that just in a while. So D, where's D? Let's look for D. Oh, there. D is the y-intercept of G. Where is G? There is George. What is G? G, it's that graph. K, where is K? Oh, there it's K. So K, having the coordinates of 1 and 4, is a point on the graph of H. Where is H? Zaga, 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 zaga. Oh, there. There. Can you guys see where H is? So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the lessons that we had previously, obviously the whole of last week, I've been taking you through, guys, an introduction to the functions. So, remember, guys, if you want to respond to my question, unmute your mic, mention your name, and I will recognize you. So, here comes a question. How many functions were we studying throughout the week? Obviously, the previous week. How many functions, and what are the names of those functions? Who wants to try and respond to this question?
Shreyas.
Shreyas, you are recognized, honorable member.
So you're doing straight line function, parabola function, hyperbola function, and exponential function.
100%. Thanks very much, Ria. So that means we actually studied 4 types of functions: a straight line, a parabola, a hyperbola, and a what is it? Exponential. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, for the fact that you know that we are dealing with functions, firstly, expect any of this. So you might be given a straight line, a parabola, hyperbola, or exponential. So you need to remember all that you learned regarding all of this. And remember, guys, just in case if you missed those lessons, you can just send me an inbox and I'll send you the links so that you can catch up. So now here comes the second question. What type of functions are we having over there, and what are the names of those? Okay, how many functions are we having there, and what are the names of those? In case if there's one missing, which one is it?
Lerato.
Honorable member, you are recognized. Lerato Moloi, go for it.
So there are 3 functions. It's exponential, straight line, and parabola.
Which one is which in terms of their names? Who is Mafranco?
Graph of f is the parabola and graph of g is the straight line and graph of h is the exponential.
Which one is missing, Lerato?
Hyperbola.
Hyperbola is missing. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is just a revision of what we have learned throughout the week. So, can you guys now see the importance of naming these functions? This one to be f, this one to be g, this one to be h. But if you remember, I said regardless of whatever the name is, all of these functions is actually y is equals to whatever. So that means there is y is equals to that, y is equals to that, y is equals to that. But if we had y, it was going to be difficult to describe which one is for that one, because all of them will be having the same name of y. So it is very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that we name this function. So this one of a exponential, obviously it means a examiner called Tlohonolo formed part of constructing this question, and they named exponential function after their name. That one, George. So that means George was also part of deriving this question, and also Franco there. So Franco was also part of forming this question. Therefore, they used the first letters of their name to give names to these functions. Very, very much important over there. So, guys, here comes a question. Remember, what I'm asking you is exactly how you should interpret this given sketch. Obviously, that's when you'll be practicing, but in exam, you don't have to go through this process of slowly by slowly trying to interpret each and every function over there. So, is there someone who can tell what that broken line represent based on what I've taught you last week? I just want to check if you guys were able to understand all that I explained before I start answering the questions. Anyone to tell anything about that broken line, that broken horizontal line? What can you say about that, or what is that called?
Lerato.
Go for it, Lerato.
So it's an asymptote and it represents the horizontal shift of the graph.
Lerato, can you repeat that, honorable member? What did you say?
So it's an asymptote. It represents the
It's an
horizontal
asymptote.
shift.
Okay, so Lerato is saying it's an asymptote and it represents the horizontal shift. Okay, let's try to check something. Let me just quickly try to rewrite all of that. I needed some space there to explain. So we have x squared. But in the meantime, while I write that, does everyone agree with honorable member there?
Yes, sir.
Remember, just in case if you are not sure, you can just indicate. You can just say no objection. I'll be aware that you've got no idea. Otherwise, if you agree, just say you agree. If you don't agree, then you say you don't agree. Shuya says he agrees with Lerato. Last one to say something.
Baloyi, I agree.
Okay. Thanks very much for your input. So now, going forward, I'll be the one doing the talking, and you guys can listen. And good people, please listen very carefully. Okay, so this is me in exam trying to quickly interpret all of that. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. Okay, I'm in exam. I'm starting question 6. What I'm going to do is to reread the given. So in the given sketch, the following graphs are represented. F of x is equals to 3x squared minus 12. G of x is equals to x plus 12. H of x is equals to a to the exponent x plus q. Remember, guys, whatever that I'll be saying, in case if you've got a question, just note it down. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to ask a question before I start answering the questions. Okay, so let's see. Where am I? So I've just read the first part of the given statement. So A and B are the x-intercepts at C, and C is the turning point of F. Okay, so D is the y-intercept of G. K has got that coordinates is a point on the graph of H. There's H. Okay, so now it's fine. How many functions am I seeing there? I see a straight line, I see a parabola, and I see an exponential there. Let me just follow that order. I'll try to interpret that one being f of x. So remember, guys, we've got this function at a baby stage, at a teenage stage, and at an adult stage. Let's say this is at a baby stage, a teenage stage, and then let's say adult stage. You remember, guys, based on what I've explained to you regarding the stages. So obviously, because of the squared over there, it means this is a parabola. And this one, because of the letters to the power of 1, it means it's a straight line. And this one, because the letter being x is to the power or in the position of power or in the position of exponents, it means it's an exponential. So that means we've got a parabola, a straight line, and an exponential. So I'm going to do an interpretation of that first one, which is f of x. So let's see. Obviously, we said it started as y is equals to x squared. Then it grew to become at a teenage stage y it is equals to ax squared plus a q or c or whatever letter. At an adult stage, let me just move to this one to say y is equals to, let's say, ax squared plus bx plus c. Something that you guys need to be aware of is to be able to identify the stage at which this is given. Can you guys see that it is at that stage over there? Okay, so now can you see your a value being 3? It is positive 3, which means we are going to have a smiling shape of that hyperbola over there. So can you see it has a smiling shape? Why? Because the a value, it is positive. So now can you see the q value? It is negative 12. So what does negative 12 mean? Remember, we said that c value or that q value, it tells us about the vertical shift. What is the vertical shift? The vertical shift, it means it can either shift up or down. So because it's negative, it means it shifted downwards. If it was positive there, means it would have shifted upwards. By how many units did it shift downwards? It shifted by 12 units. So that means this function, it was actually on a Cartesian plane making a U-turn at the origin. But now we take it as it is, we shift it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Therefore, it looks like that. That is why it makes a U-turn there. That means already we can say that point, good people, obviously x is 0. We can already say y it is actually negative 12. So that means there we are having negative 12. That's all for now that I can say regarding that first type of a function. Quickly, let me explain that one being a straight line. Remember, at a baby stage, this is the formula for a straight line. And we did discuss to say at a teenage stage, they added m over there and it became y is equals to mx plus y is equals to mx. At an adult stage, we said we have y is equals to that mx and then plus either what is it, qc or whatever letter. For now, let me use q. So remember, we said for a straight line on a Cartesian plane, it can be a straight line in that direction. So if it's in that direction, we say gradient is positive. But if it's in that direction, it has a negative gradient. So the influence of the gradient on a function, for example, if you have y is equals to 2x, it could be, for example, something similar to that. But if you have y is equals to, let's say, 10x, it influences the slope of that function. If it's a negative value, maybe it's a bit steeper. But now this Shravan, the Q value, it influences the vertical shift. What is the vertical shift? Is the up and down movement. So here in this case, what does it mean? Can you see? This function of g, it is actually at an adult stage. What is m? M is invisible 1 and is a positive invisible 1. That is why our function is in that direction, ending in the first and the third quadrant. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So now the Q value. What about the Q value? So the Q value, it simply tells us about the vertical shift. What does it mean? It means our straight line, it moved from the origin by 1 2 units. Therefore, it is passing through there. So can you guys see that already we can say our D there, that point over there, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually 2. So that means this is a point where what is it? X is 0 and then y is 2. It is for that reason that already we can see from the given straight line equation that that straight line, originally it was passing through the origin, but it shifted by 2 units. Boom, boom. That is why it is now there at point D. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you catch up on my previous lesson. So now let's get to that one of a hype. No, what is it? An exponential. So how does an exponential function at a baby stage look like? We said it is just y, it's equals to b to the exponent x. Because human beings grow from a baby stage to a teenage stage. This is why it's equals to, now we add a over there, b to the exponent x, it still remains. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So at an adult stage, we still have a to the dot, and then we have plus a q. Lerato, you tell me, what does that q tell us, or what does it mean according to your understanding?
So it's a vertical shift. It's a
But Lerato, why are you beating the baby now? Umshayelani umntwana? Wenzeni? Lerato, you say the Q represent the vertical shift. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you are aware that normally the Q value, sometimes they can use C or whatever letter that they use. In functions, it represents the vertical shift, which means the function can shift upwards or downwards. Now, Lerato, let's have a quick discussion. I want you to correct your wrong response. So, if you say Q represent the vertical shift, it's fine. I'm in agreement with you on that one. Which functions have got asymptotes?
hyperbola and exponential.
How many asymptotes does each function have?
Hyperbola has got 2 asymptotes and exponential function has got 1 asymptote.
100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, exponential has got only 1 asymptote. Hyperbola has got 2 asymptotes. So, can you see that broken line? It represents the asymptote of that exponential. But Lerato, obviously, at this stage or that stage, you have your Cartesian plane, and then you have your exponential function over there. In this case, Lerato, where is the asymptote?
It's on the x-axis line.
It is hidden inside the x-axis. So, ladies and gentlemen, for example, if you have y, it's equals to, let's say, 2 to the exponent x. This is an exponential type of a function, or otherwise it could be y. It is equals to 1 over 2 to the exponent x. Doesn't matter whether there you still have another number or there also you still have another number. For the fact that in this case, it is actually at that baby and teenage stage. It means your equation of a asymptote, or your asymptote is actually y. It is equals to a 0. It is that broken line which is passing through 0 or passing through the origin. But Lerato, can you see what happens to this function is that, can you see, it has shifted by q units in a certain direction. In which direction did it shift, Lerato? Did it shift upwards or downwards based on what you are seeing over there?
Upwards.
It shifted upwards. So that means when it shifts upward, does the asymptote also shift?
Yes.
So can you see where the asymptote is passing? Is passing at where a y it is equals to 2. It is passing at that point of d. So can you guess by how many units did that function shift upwards?
Two, sir.
Okay, she says by 2 units. Okay, it's fine. She says it shifted upwards by 2 units, 100%. So now you tell me, Lerato, what did you say this asymptote tells us with regards to that function of an exponential? Did you say it tells us more about the vertical or the horizontal shift? What did you say?
It's a vertical shift.
Nie. What did Jay say, Madam Speaker? You want to rob me now? What did you say initially, Lerato?
I said it's a vertical shift.
Never.
Sir,
Never.
given.
You are recognized, honorable member. Is
Sir,
she not
I'd like
robbing
to
me
help.
that one?
She is.
Do you want
She
to beg to
is.
differ?
She
How
is
about
robbing you.
Given.
Sir, I want to help Lerato. I just want to help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, you can turn off your mic now. Please turn off your mic.
Yay.
Now, Given is
Okay,
taking
sir.
over.
I was saying that actually, and on the exponential graph, the y is equals to the q or the c or the any number which is there. It's only responsible for the horizontal isotope.
You are correct.
No, so I was just saying
Honorable
that
member.
this q. I know, so you can turn off your mic. I'm joking. I was saying that
So,
this q is responsible for the horizontal isotope. It's not responsible for the shift or anything. It's only responsible for the horizontal isotope only.
okay. So it's more like from what you are saying, given it's a correction of what I was saying. To put it directly, isn't it? Are you not correcting what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying is this Q value, it tells us about the vertical shift of the exponential. That's what I'm saying, a gift. Are we saying the same thing? Why are you saying something different?
But sir also said it's a vertical shift.
What did you say,
But
Lerato? I couldn't hear.
Sir, I also said that it's a vertical shift. It's an asymptote which represents the vertical.
Yes. But you see, you, Lerato, I think you want to rob me. Isn't there someone who remember what Lerato said initially? Shreyas, do you not remember what Lerato said initially? I think she said a horizontal shift, guys. I'm not
I
sure.
said no.
Vertical chapter.
Shravan, did you not hear her, Shravan? Did she say vertical shift?
So I think she said horizontal shift.
Vertical.
I know, given I said vertical,
Oh,
but then
no. I remember. I just remembered something. This lesson is being recorded. Then we are going to have a footage. But quickly, let me not forget what Given is said over there. Given, you said something very interesting, but I just want to make sure that I'm not unteaching you and everyone else. Listen to what I'm saying, Given. This asymptote, it tells us more about the vertical shift. I'm going to make my statement given. What you are saying, it's actually commenting on the equation of that asymptote, to say it tells us more about the horizontal isotope. So you tell me, given, is there a difference between the word asymptote and isotope?
Nah, isotope and isotope. Nah, so it's just one and the same thing as long you
It's
have the
just
understanding of
one
what you mean.
and the same thing. So now, are you in agreement, or do you disagree with a statement that says the asymptote or the isotope tells us more about the vertical shift?
So I'm agreeing. I'm somehow
Okay,
agreeing and disagreeing at
100%.
the same time.
Therefore, let's say you disagree. What would be the reason?
Nah, sir. I was just saying that I was fighting with my thoughts at the same time because I thought that this Q is only responsible for the horizontal isotope.
Horizontal asymptote.
Hence I did not think that it's also responsible for the shift.
So, given and everyone else. So, what we mean by this Q telling us more, not necessarily saying responsible for. Maybe the way you're putting it, given, it complicates everything when you think about that. Say this Q value tells us more about the vertical shift. For me, I can tell you now that this function of H, it actually shifted by 2 units upwards. Why? It is because of the position of that isotope. Originally, it was hidden within the x-axis, but because now the new position of the asymptote, it's at that point D where we know the y is 2. It means the whole of this and that shifted by boom, boom. Therefore, we say the Q value tells us more about the vertical shift. So it's more like already I know that. Let me try to get a different marker there. So already I know that h of x, it is equals to, let's say, a to the exponent x. Maybe I can say plus 2 over there. Reason being I know that influence or it tells us more about the vertical shift. So it's fine. I think I did explain everything that I wanted to explain, guys. And also, you remember that we said if the A value or that value being the base is between 0 and 1, then we are having what is it? I think we are having a decreasing function. So it's more like we are having a a function in that direction. But if the base is greater than 1, therefore we are having an increasing function, which means for some reason, if the question says calculate the value of A, expect a value which is greater than 1. I'm not sure if I'm losing you guys on that one. Can someone indicate? Otherwise, if you've got a question based on that, you are welcome to ask before we go deeper on that one. Does it make sense to everyone before I continue, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
100%. I think I'm just not sure if I should try to squeeze everything there. Maybe let me try to squeeze everything there, because you'll be able to refer to that diagram over there. So let me try, guys, to squeeze everything there. I'm not sure. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll try with the resources that I've got over there. Okay, let's see. The first question says calculate the length of GH if OF is equals to 1 unit. So where's OF? There is O and there is F. So they're saying if from there to there, it is actually 1. They want us to calculate the length of a GH. So with this type of questions, guys, it's more like we know from there to there, it's actually 1. But now, from there up to there, do we know what that length is? From there to there, do we know what that length is? So, if we do not know, we can make use of, hey, what's happening there, guys? I might need to get some other markers. I think I'm running out of markers here. But let me just give you guys a clue of what we need to do over there. So this is what we need to do, guys. We need to calculate the y value there, and again the y value there. How can we do that? We can make use of this straight line equation and also make use of that hyperbola, a parabola, to find the y value at that point. But we already know that the x value at h is 1. What is the y value? We already know that the x value for g, it is 1. What is the y value? So for example, if we calculate that y value and we get, let's say, what is it, 2, 3, let's say 3 or 4 or whatever, and we also calculate that, we get obviously a negative number, but let's say maybe it's a negative 8, then it means the length of GH, it is going to be that 3 plus that 8. Therefore, it is 11 units as an example. But now, how do you calculate the length of F to G? So can you see it touches which function? that function. So that means since we know x, we substitute it there and calculate for that length. And for this one, where is it touching? It's touching that parabola, which means we can take that x value and substitute it there to know the y value from there to there. Soon as we get that, we just add the two together. It gives us the distance or the length from G to H. So in the meantime, while I try to get my other markers, guys, can you try to do some calculations to answer that question? When you get an answer, just mention your name, not the answer, and then I will recognize you. I'll give you guys less than 2 minutes to quickly complete that. So, are you guys done? Is there someone who has completed that exercise? Or are you still calculating? Are you guys still calculating? Hey, guys, did you not run away? Are you guys still there? Let me see. Shreyas, Kensani, Lerato, Shoravan, Grace, Miss S. Are you winning there, guys? Are you still there?
Yes, sir, we're still there.
So you're still busy calculating, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eh, So remember, guys, who finishes that, just make sure to mention your name, and then I will recognize you. I just want to quickly check something here. Here. Are you guys done, or are you still calculating there? Lerato, are you there? Are you still calculating there? Shravan, are you there? Are you still there?
Yes, sir. So can
Okay.
I'm done, sir.
Someone is done. Who's that? Is it Duke and Sunny? Is it given?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's fine. Let's just wait for a sec, just to make sure that 2 or 3 they are also done. or in the meantime, can you explain how did you approach this without you mentioning the answers that you got given? How can you explain what process did you go through for this one?
So I guess we know that G and F and H, their x-intercept is 1, right?
Wait, what did you say?
We know that the x-intercept of G and F and H, it's 1. That's what we know,
Okay.
right?
So in this case, given, we say the x value at point G is 1. So the moment you mention the word intercept, it's more like you get it now, no?
Yes, I get it.
Yes. Yes.
So we know that G is 1. So I took to that equation of G for X. G for X for me to find Y, I substituted the 1 in which I have in order to get the Y coordinate for G.
Yes, the Y coordinate for G. Okay. And then for the other point?
Then after for H, I took to the equation of f of x, substituting 1 where there is x in order for me to find Y.
Did you get a positive or a negative Y?
For H, I got a negative.
So when you calculate what is it, the distance, what happened to that negative? Did you include it when you calculate for the length, or did you just ignore it?
I included it, sir.
Okay, it's fine, just hold it there. Anyone else, guys, to also tell me if they are done? Anyone who's done, guys?
Done, sir.
Shreya says he's done. Okay, so Shreyas, can you also do a very quick explanation there before we go through all of this?
So I used first I started with f of x.
Mm-hmm.
And I substituted 1 for x.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I used g of x and I substituted 2.
Mm-hmm.
So for the g of x, I got a negative.
Wait. So don't mention the answer, Shreyas. So I just wanted an explanation of how did you approach that. So there'll be a time where I'll ask you guys for answers. I just don't want someone to copy you, Shreyas. And then the last part, what did you do? Then from there, we continue, guys. What did you do for the other one, Shreyas?
So I added my answers together. Give me my length.
And then for the other, did you get a negative for the other value?
So for which one? So for g of x?
Let's say no, you tell me for which one.
Yes, so for g of x, I got a negative.
And then what did you do with that negative?
So I added it to the equation.
So you included that negative. Okay, no, then it's fine. So is there someone also to just indicate if you guys got maybe an answer? Did you guys get an answer? I mean, is there someone else also who got something there? Grace, are you still with us there, Grace? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. We are now on 6.1. Shreyas, what answers did you get there?
So I got a +3 and a -9.
For which one?
So for f of x, I got a +3, and for g of x, I got a -9.
For f of x, which is actually y, you got what was it? 3, ne? You said 3.
Yes, sir.
And then for g, Shreyas, what did you get for g? In the meantime, given what are your answers? What did you get?
I got 12.
12 for which one? Or is it just 12 for both?
So the length of G, the length of GH is 12.
Given for which function, which value did you get?
House, I do not understand your question.
Okay, no, it's fine. Let me quickly explain. So through my explanation, you guys will understand what I mean. So remember, guys, when you solve this question, you firstly calculate the length of fg using an equation for a straight line. So Shreyas, you say g of x, it is equals to what is x? X obviously is 1 plus 3. This is what? No, plus 2. This is 3. So be careful, Shreyas. The 3 that you got, just make sure that it's for f or is for g. Be careful of that. So let's now go to f of x. So for f of x, you are having 3 into what is it? Obviously, x we know is 1 minus 12. Then you punch all of this. What are you getting? The thing that you end up having negative 9. So my question was, for which function, which value did you get? So what I expected from you guys is to say, for g of x, I got 3. So that means there is 3. I expected you guys to say, for f of x, I got -9. So that means there it is -9. So now to calculate for GH, this is equals to 3 units plus 9 units, which means you did not include the negative into your equation if you have done it this way. So that means you're going to say 3 plus 9 units, it is equals to 12 units. And remember, guys, this is not the only way in which you can solve for this question. The other way is for you to say a top graph minus a bottom graph, it is going to give you an equation for that length. I'll give you an example on that. Let me just say I'll redo that. So which function is at the top? Grace, can you see the function of g? It is the one at the top. What is g? G is that. So it's more like you are having g of x minus f of x. What is g? G is what? Remember, this minus that is equals to that gh, or otherwise to formulate. So you might be having a question paper that you're trying to treat and they've done it this way, or otherwise you can also do it the way that we have done it. So the length of gh is equals to top graph minus a bottom graph. Which graph is at the top? Is this one for g of x. You're going to minus the one for f of x, only when you look at that portion there. So that means in case if you have something similar to this, let's say you've got a function like that, and then you have that, and then they say up to that, and they say calculate length of AB. In this case, which one is at the top? Can you see? This one of a parabola, it is the one at the top, the straight line, it is at the bottom. For when you focus on that portion. So that means you're going to say the graph of parabola minus the graph of that, it gives you an equation of that length. Then you will need to know the x value to substitute in order to know what the length is. So let me quickly try to do that. So that means we're going to say which one is which, guys? Which one is which? Which one is which? Which one is which? So g is this one of x plus 2, then you minus the whole of that. Inside the brackets, it's 3x squared minus 12. Be careful to put it inside the brackets. If you don't, it might be wrong. So you see, this times that times that. So you have x plus 2 minus 3x squared, then this is going to be plus 12. Then you simplify. Can you guys see that you actually have negative 3x squared, and then there you just have plus x, this plus that is plus 14. So this is actually the equation that you can use to calculate that length. So you can say at where x it is equals to 1, we know that x there is 1. Can someone punch this by substituting 1 and tell me if you're going to get 12? If you don't get 12, I'm going to Idibala, guys. Can someone punch that and tell me if you're getting 12? What are you
12,
getting
sir.
there? Yes.
12.
So did you guys understand both the methods? Did it make sense to everyone?
No.
Yes, sir.
Made sense, sir.
Someone did not understand. Who was it? Was it you,
Yes, sir.
Lerato?
Yes, it's right.
Okay, but the first method, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's try to check this one. Where is it confusing you, there, Lerato?
Sir, I don't understand this method. Everything.
Okay, so let me try to be quick on that one. So I will help you um, uh, to 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 actually understand it through our interaction, Lerato. So let's say, Lerato, we have two functions, which is that one, and maybe let's say we also have a, let's say, this one, and then let's say for some reason that one, it is actually g of x is equals to, let's say, x squared plus 4, and then this one, let's say, is f of x being equals to, let's say, 2 to the exponent x. No, let's say 1 over 2 to the exponent x. So the question says determine the length between A and B, which is that one there. Provided that, let's say that point is 2 over there. So, Lerato, how many functions are you seeing there?
2, sir.
You are seeing 2. Then between point A and B, which point is at the top, which point is at the bottom?
A.
Okay, so that means the length of AB in a form of a formula, it's actually a top function minus bottom bottom function. So this is the general formula where you've got two functions and you have 2 points, one point being at the top, one point being at the bottom. So that means this length in between the 2 points will always be the top graph minusing the bottom graph. So Lerato, which function is the one at the top in terms of its equation? Which one?
Sir, please repeat the question.
So which function between G and F, which one is at which position? Which one is at the top? Which one is at the bottom?
G, sir, is at the top.
Yeah, so that means x squared plus 4 is the one at the top. Then you say minus into that one being 1 over 2 to the exponent x. So this formula, does it make sense now, Elrad?
Yes, sir.
So can you see, you now simplify. You therefore have x squared plus 4 minus 1 over 2 to the exponent x. Can you see? You cannot further simplify this thing. It ends there. Then all that you do is to substitute this into that. Then when you substitute, it means you're going to have 2 squared, let's say plus 4 minus 1 over 2 to the exponent 2. Then you punch all of this. Whatever answer that you get, then is whatever the length units. So that means it's actually the distance from there to there. Grace, does it make sense? Shravan, do you get it now?
I'm understanding, sir.
100%. So you get it, Lerat?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
100%. So now, quickly, let's move to 6.2. So I hope you guys are happy with that first question over there. So let's see 6.2. We've got 6.2.1, which says determine the coordinates of E, the point of intersection of F and G. So can you guys see where E is? There it is E. What do we know about that point E, guys? Is there something that we know or something that we can say regarding E?
Given, sir.
Given, go for it.
We can just say that the equation of f of x is equal to the equation of g of x.
G of x. So did everyone get that part? Does it make sense to everyone, or would you like an explanation on that?
Explanation, please.
Okay. So let's see, Lerato. So it's more like always, where you have two graphs touching each other, they are always equal, or they have equal coordinates at that point. So that means at point E being that point, that y value, Lerato, there, it is actually the same y value for this and also for straight line. And then the x value also, it is the x value for straight line and for what is it, that parabola there. So that means on that, let's say we've got this function and also that one, and for some reason we've got a straight line. So this point and that point, can you see what happens there, Lerato? These two functions are touching each other, which means they are equal at that point, in a sense that they have the same y value and the same x value. Also they have the same x value and the same y value, which means we can equate equations of the two functions which are intersecting with each other and solve. I'm not sure. Did that callousment make sense, Lerato?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Does it make sense to everyone, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now, that means always where you have graphs touching each other, they've got equal whatever. Can you guys also see that there you have these touching each other with that? That means if you can equate the function of this and that and solve for x, the x value that you get is a negative x value, which is the same x value for this and that. Then you just use that x value to calculate y. The y value that you get is the y value for this and also for that. That's what we mean. So you can just make it to your notes to say at a where two graphs touch equate or equate them, something like that, just to remind you that always when you have functions touching each other, they are equal at that point. So which functions are they touching? Can you see the graph of f and the graph of g? So that means actually at point E, ne? At point E, we can say f of x is equals to g of x. This is how you start it. Then this is a g of x Shreyas. It's actually a 3x squared minus 12. Then you can say is equals to, what is that? This is x plus 2 there. Can you guys see? Therefore, Shreyas, do you want to guess what type of an equation is that? I couldn't hear that, but it's fine. So this is a quadratic equation. Because I see an equal sign, it means it's an equation. Because I see a power of 2, it means it's a quadratic equation, which means I need to rewrite it in the standard form and solve for the unknown. What is the unknown? The unknown is represented by letter x, which means because of that power of 2, it means I'm going to have two values of x. Let's try to work it out. So remember, when you have a quadratic equation, you want to move everything to the other side and on the right remain with 0. So in that order of x squared, obviously that to the other side, it changes the sign, then it's minus x. Then this one to the other side is going to be minus 12 minus 2. It ends up being minus 14 over there. So now, can someone quickly either use their head or otherwise a quadratic equation to find the factors? What will the factors be, guys? Let's see.
So I think it's 3x minus 7.
So the factors, we have 7 is same minus 7, and then here
plus 2.
100%. Did you use a quadratic equation?
No, sir.
You are
I don't
just
cheat.
so usebenzisa enhloko. How do I say Kenzani, are you Tsonga?
Yes, sir. I'm Tonga.
How do I say it in Tsonga? How do I say you used your head?
Utirhise nhloko.
Uteresa enhloko. Did you guys also try to teresa enhloko, or were you hammering quadratic equation there? Lerato, how do you work out this one?
I used my
Hmm?
head.
You are always lying. You are always Shravan. I can see there you are fighting the calculator, my man. Um, the battery is fine. Are you winning there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now it means we have our factor. So can you guys see, Shreyas, can you see the importance of a quadratic equation? No, you're in grade 10, but at least you are exposed to the importance of that equation. So it helps you in this case. You remember, Shravan, when we're doing a private lesson, I said this. You'll get to this stage where you need to quickly use that formula to find the x value. So can you see that if you can't get to this stage where the other guys are erasing in logos, you won't be able to get the e coordinate over there. So now let's continue. So obviously you equate this to 0, then you end up having you transpose, then you have 3x being equals to positive 7. You equate this to 0, then you transpose, you end up having x being equals to negative 2. But here, you still need to solve for x. So that means x, it is actually 7 over 3. But now, can you guys see that we're getting two x values? And we need to choose which one is the correct one. So between this one and this one, which one suits to be the x value at that point, and why would you say that? Mention your name and I will recognize
Rato.
you. Lerato, go for it.
7 over 3, sir.
Reason being
Because it's a positive value. And
100%. But what about this one? What does it mean to us? No idea.
Sir, it's a non-applicant.
Non-applicant response. Okay, noted. But Lerato, are you still tracing in talk or there, or no idea?
say we can't use -2, it's a negative value, and our functions intersect in the first quadrant.
So what does this
Intersect.
one what does this one mean? That one I get, Lerato, but this one, what does it mean? Grace, are you there? Gracie, Racy, Gracie, Racy. I Grace she's dreaming attending a lesson wherever she is. I doubt she's in the lesson. Grace, hey, Grace, Vuga, 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 Vuga. Hey, let me see.
Yes, sir.
Shravan. Oh yes, yes, yes. Um, what does that what can we say about that,
Right.
Grace? What do you think that is? Possibly network on a crazy side. But Lerato, I want you and everyone else to be aware of course, 7 over 3 is the correct answer. 7 over 3 is the correct x value at point E. But remember, we have 2 points, that one and this one. So this -2 is actually that one over there. I'm not sure if you guys understand that part. Normally, when you have a straight line and a parabola, let's say you have a straight line, maybe something similar to that. Can you see it is going to be intersecting there and there? When you equate straight line and a parabola, you end up having 2 x values. One x value will be for that other point of intersection, and the other one will be for the other intersection. So indirectly, we have calculated the a value over there. Does it make sense, guys? Do you guys get it? Hey.
Yes, we do get it.
Okay, 100%. But remember, we haven't answered the question. The question wants us to calculate the coordinates of E. What are the coordinates, or how do we represent the coordinates? This is how you represent the coordinates. It's E having x and y value. But now we calculated our x value. Given, how do we get the y value?
So we are going to substitute the 7/3 on any equation of g for x or f for x.
Shreyas, did you get that part? Or would you like an explanation on that one?
So can you explain it?
Okay, so always, Shreyas, where you have 2 graphs touching with each other, the first thing that you do is to calculate the x value. After you get the x value, Shreyas, you can take this x value and substitute it either on the equation of G or on the equation of F. You must get the same answer. So now, Shreyas and everyone else, try to punch it there and again try to punch it there and check if you're going to get the same answer. If you get the same answer, then it means your x value is correct. What are you guys getting there? But Shravan, before I continue, did you get it, Mr. Ragunana?
Sorry?
Did you get it, that part, the explanation?
Oh, yes, sir. I got it.
100%. So, are you also tracing in Togo there, or are you punching on a calculator there? What are you getting?
I'm using a calculator, sir.
So, anyone who's got an answer already?
Shreyas.
Shreyas, what are you getting?
So I got 13/3.
Did you get it on both?
Yes, sir.
100%. So that means this answer is correct. So that means there is actually 13/3. Did it make sense to everyone, guys, before we move to the next question? Guys, did it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Last one to confirm.
Yes, sir.
100%. So now, what is it? I'm going to remove all of this. So let's see. Yes, I'm going to remove that. Then we are now on 6.2. Point 2. The question says the equation of h. So now we need the equation of h. Obviously, we've got h of x being equals to that plus that. I'm not sure if there's someone who'd like to give it a try, guys. Is there someone who wants to give it a try?
Sir, can I try it?
Go for it.
As we are going to look at the coordinates of k. We know that k is 1:4.
K is 1 and 4.
Okay. Then after, we also know that we have the horizontal isotope, and it's 2.
So that means, in short, it's more like
2.
you're saying Q is equals to 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Then
after, we are going to substitute the coordinates of k. We are going to add h for x. You are going to have 4 is equals to a, then exponent 1, replacing x, plus 2, plus 2, then transpose a. Therefore, a is equals to 2.
So you're saying A is equals to 2. So do you guys agree with what given is saying there? Or it is you agree? Shravan, Shreyas, Grace.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, 100%. So in short, it simply means you need to be aware of the type of a function that you're dealing with. So in this case, it's an exponential. So already we are given a point, which is that point over there. So also we have that asymptote, or otherwise isotope. So this is that asymptote. We know that it has shifted by 2 units upwards. And where do we get that to? We got it from that G. How do we know that 2 is for G and H? Is because that's where they intercept. Can you see? We have that intercepting with that. So always where you have lines crossing, they have equal point, or they share the same point. But have we answered the question? Yes or no?
No, sir.
100%. Yebo.
Sir, are we not supposed to substitute 1 there because 1 is the value of x?
We substituted where, Grace? Can you remind me on that one?
Saying the coordinates of k is 1:4, right? So
Yes.
1 is the value of x. Are we not supposed to substitute it there where we did 4?
Oh, no. So this thing is actually y. There is your x. Or are you saying 1 there, then 4 there, Grace? Grace, you get it now, ne? I couldn't hear what Grace said. So remember, guys, when you make a comment, make sure to unmute first, then speak after. So, Grace, I'm going to make an assumption that you got it. So remember, guys, whether you have h of x, f of x, g of x, or whatever, all of this, it simply means y. The reason why we use h, f, and g is so that it's easy to say this one is G, then we know it's straight. This one is F, then it's parabola. This is H. But all of this says Y, it is equals to whatever. Just always remember that. So it's more like this thing. It's just the same. as y is equals to all of that. Does it make sense, Grace? Can you try to respond before I continue? While she's responding, guys, so the question said the equation. So the equation is h of x being equals to, ours was just to calculate the a value so that we can say 2 to the exponent x plus 2. So this is now an answer to that question. Are you guys happy there? Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, please.
Yes, sir, you can.
100%. So now this question is an interesting one, guys. It's an interesting question. This is 6.2.3. So the question says, if K is the reflection of F about the x-axis. Remember, the initial question on 6.2 is determine. So that means 6.2.3 says determine K if K is the reflection of F about the x-axis. Milano. See, Milano is just joined, but their mics was unmuted. Okay, so something that you need to be very careful about is the reflection about. When the question says something is reflecting about, it's more like we swing it. If it's about y, we swing it about y. If maybe it was like that and then we swing it, it's more like we now swing it and then we see it in that on that side. If it's about the x-axis, we just swing it, guys. We swing it about the x-axis. Then we will swing it like that. So it's more like now both of these gets to this side and this one goes to the other side. That's how you swing it. I'll give an example. Shreyas, which function would you like me to swing and along which line? Maybe Lerato, which function would you like me to swing and about which axis?
Graph of h, sir, and the y-axis.
Graph of h about the y-axis.
Yes.
Okay, so can you guys see? This is how it looks like. So if now I rotate it, it's just to rotate or swing about that. It's more like you just do this. How will it look like? It will obviously look like that. Same angle, same everything is just being rotated about the y. So it's more like you just rotate it like that. Another one, Shravan, which function would you like me to rotate and about which axis? Okay. Given, which function would you like me to rotate and about which axis?
I think the G for X, but yeah, G for X.
So to rotate G about the x-axis.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. So it's more like now I'm having that line. I just have to rotate it about that. So it seems like if I rotate it about that, it seems like let me see, there it is going to be on this side. So that point will be now here, yes, there. This is the point that does not change. So it's more like it will be like that, guys. I'm not sure if it now makes sense. So it's more like if you rotate it about the x-axis, that point it remains there, then this is where it swings. I'm not sure if you're having some light there, Shreyas. Shreyas,
I
are you
am,
having
sir.
some light there? Shravan,
Yes, sir.
do you want me to see me swinging this one about the x-axis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this you can just think about it this way, guys. So it is actually the same thing, but you're just swinging it about that axis. So that means it is now going to be like that. So which points are fixed? That point there and also this point there, they are fixed. They don't move. They remain there. But this U, it is going to be on that side, and then all of that will be on this. So that means it is actually going to be, let's say, something similar to that. I'm not sure. I hope now you guys you are having an idea there. Can you see Shravan when it is rotated about the x-axis? Can you see how it looks like now?
Yes, sir. I can see.
Yeah. So now the question says determine K if K is the reflection of F about the x axis. So I'm not sure if there's someone who wants to give it a try, guys, and also explain why whatever answer they are getting. So in case if you've got no idea, this is our way of communicating, guys. You will therefore say, no objection, Your Honor. You know how they say it in court, guys. So that's a smart way of saying, hey, no, I don't know, sir. Shravan, any objection?
No, sir.
Kensani,
No objections, sir.
Shreyas, Grace, Lerato.
No objection.
Hey,
No
guys,
objection.
are you saying no objection because you like this word, or what's happening, guys? Okay,
Ah,
let's give it a try. So, here's the trick, guys. Which function are we talking about? Is it the function of f? Is it the function of g? Or is it the function of h, which is reflecting? Which function is it?
Sir, the function K that's reflecting.
Okay, I forgot something, guys. I also need to explain to you how to interpret that statement. So the question says determine K if the reflection of about the x-axis. Check that statement, guys, and tell me which function is reflecting.
Yes, sir, I think it's the graph of H.
Lerato says she thinks it's the graph of H. Anyone else to also comment on that? Okay, so let me maybe write that question, because this question, guys, it should be one of the easy questions. I just want to make sure that everyone understand it. So they say determine K if K is the reflection of F about the X axis. So it's more like the equation say determine Lerato. If Lerato is the friend of a Desmond, something like that. I just want you guys to understand that here, Shravan, they are saying determine K if this K is actually the reflection of this. So my question was, which function is actually reflecting? So that means F, it is the one that is reflecting about the x-axis. Therefore, we represent that function of a reflection as k. So it's more like we are saying k of x is equals to whatever. And whatever that we give is actually the reflection of f about the x-axis. I'm not sure if I lost you guys there. I'm not sure, and I would like to hear if you guys would like for another explanation on that. Mm-hmm. I couldn't hear that. Shravan given 3 years grace. Did that make sense, or did I lose you guys?
Sir, can you please repeat the explanation again? I did not get it well.
So let's see. If K, determine K. If K is the reflection of F about the x-axis. So it's more like they are saying, tell us the new equation of the function whereby we reflected this graph of F. Let me answer the question. Maybe that's when it is going to make a perfect sense. So remember, the original equation of F is actually 3x minus 12. So this is the function of F. So Shravan, you remember when I reflected this for you about the x-axis, and we said this is now how it looks like. So can you see there it is negative 12, which means when it reflects, it is going to cut there where x it is now positive 12, which means already for this function of k, I know that there I'm having positive 12. And again, let's come to this part. Shravan, do you still remember that we said for a parabola, if it looks like this, it's a sad shape. If it looks like that, it's a smiling shape. And if it has a smiling shape, we have a positive a value. But if it has a sad shape, it has a negative value, which means there it is now negative 3. So the a value, it is negative 3x squared. So that means you actually change that and that. So this is the equation of k, whereby this k is actually a reflection of that original function about the x-axis. So it's more like for you to fully understand it, first thing, redraw it while it's reflected about that. Then from there, ask yourself this question: is it smiling or is it sad? You can see it's sad. That means there is negative. There, the turning point, is it on the positive or the negative? You can see it's on the positive side. That means there is positive. Kenzani, I'm not sure. Is there someone who would like for me to also explain it again, or does it make sense? Nyana nyana there?
Sir, I understand it.
So it makes perfect sense.
Understand now.
100%, exactly that, guys. So just be careful. Just be careful. So can you guys see? I want you guys to notice something. This thing that I've done just now, if they did not teach you in class, there's no way out of the blue you can just be able to get that question correct. Which means for everything that you are expected to do in class, you must have been taught, not necessarily in class, but in exam room, you must have been taught almost everything that you need to be aware of regarding the functions. So just make sure, guys, that you don't miss any of our lessons so that you can grab as much information as possible. I hope there you now have an idea of how to deal with this type of questions. So lastly, being 6.3, yes, 6.3, it's that type of question where they actually try to check if you fully understand the function. So they say for which value or values, this is how they write it, for which value or otherwise values of x will f of x be greater or equals to 0. Which value or values of, can someone explain what does that thing mean when it's written like that? Is there someone who wants to guess? Do you guys still remember what is meant when it's written like that?
Which one, sir?
That word, a value in brackets s.
It's whether it's one value or there are many values.
Yes, 100%. So that means for which value or values of x will f of x be greater or equals to 0? Is there someone who would like to explain to us what could that possibly mean? Just as it is to say, they are saying f of x greater than that. So it's more like they're asking for which values of x is whatever. Is there someone who'd like to just try say something there?
So are they asking if it's positive or negative?
Let me see. You have a point. Shravan. Can you try to extend that point? Your starting point is in the right direction. Can you try to extend it? No objection, Your Honor.
Because if it was possible, because when they asked if k was, they asked for the value of k. If f was negative and they reflected it, it would have been positive then.
Even though you were breaking, but it's fine. Let me take it from there, Shravan. So let's see. So remember, this is a complete new question, which is question, 6.3. So question 6.3, they are saying which value or values of x will f of x be greater or equals to 0. So we obviously know that anything which is more than 0 is a positive number. If it was less than there, it means its values below or on the negative side. But let's try to check something, guys. For the fact that they are talking about f of x, that means they are talking about that function. So Shravan, if they were saying for which values or whatever will k of x be equals to that, then we would be focusing on that one with that shape. Lerato, if they were saying for which value or values of x will g of x be whatever greater whatever, that means we were actually going to be focusing on that one. Grace, if they were saying for which value or values of x will maybe h of whatever be whatever, then we were actually going to focus on what is it, that one over there. But something very much important, very much important, they are talking about the x values where f is whatever. So your main focus should be at these two values, guys. Should be at that x value there, and again that x value there. Is there someone who knows what is the x value at b? What is that value there?
That value says 2.
That value is 2. I'm not sure if you guys understand how it is 2, but you can try maybe to factorize this thing. Let's see. If you try to factorize that, you will end up having you might end up having two values of x being 2 and 2, or otherwise we know that for a parabola, making a turning point or a U-turn along the x-axis, this side is exactly equals to that side. If here is -2, there is going to be -2. You can see this function, it hasn't shifted either to the left or to the right. That is why on that original equation, we don't have that b value in the middle. So remember, we said this one tells us more about the graph being a smiling or a set shape, and then that one of bx, it tells us more about the sideways shifts, and then that one of c value in this case is -12, tells us more about the vertical shift. So if we don't have this one, then it means whatever x value it is there, it is exactly the same but in the opposite sign this side. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So given what I was saying is that because they are talking about the x values, so you might need to make comments based on these two x values. So what you can actually do is to try maybe substitute values on this side to check if you get values which are greater or equals to 0, and also maybe try substitute with values in between and check if you are getting that, and do the same for that side and check what you are getting. Remember, you just substitute it on that equation there, so it's more like you will say 3 what is it, you check if f of x, it is greater or it's equals to, there you have 3, you substitute whatever value squared minus 12. Or otherwise, based on experience, for me, I can see that from this point going in that direction, this function increased towards where the y values are positive. Also from this point going in that direction, this function increases in the opposite in the positive direction. But between this and that, you can see this function is actually in the negative direction. which means I can easily say x in that direction being less than or equals to -2. So it's more like if you punch -2 there, you must get 0. If maybe you punch any values in that direction, you must get a value which is greater than 0. Obviously, that's a positive value, as Shravan has said. And also, on this side, if you punch 2 there, you must get a 0. Or if you punch any value in that direction, you must get values which are above 0. But if you punch values in between, you will get a value which is less than 0 or which is a -0, which means this statement does not apply. So that means I'm going to have two values of x to say where x is actually -2 or whatever value in that direction, where x is equal to 2 or whatever x value in that direction. So that means I'm going to have or x greater or is equals to 2. I know this might be confusing. I'm just not sure if you guys were able to collect something out of what I've said over there. Can someone say something there? Hey, is the message still delivering or what's going on, guys? Are you guys still there?
Sir, I understand.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
Shuyas, he's got an idea, he's understanding. Someone to make a comment.
Understanding, sir.
Okay.
Understanding.
Shravan, any objection
Sir?
there?
I got a quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you write the answer, you must write either so you must always put a positive and negative.
Oh, no. If I hear you, Shravan, so your line is breaking. So if I hear you, you're asking if you should write this positive, that negative, and that positive. Is that the question, Shravan?
Oh no, because your answer, so you got x is greater or smaller than -2, or x is greater or smaller than +2. So you have to have both. You have to have both. You can't just have one.
So you're saying you have to have both. What did you say about both? I couldn't get that part.
Oh, I'm asking, so can you not just write one of them?
Oh, okay. No, I see. Okay, no, I see. Let me try to somehow. Maybe let me remove the. No, I got your question, Shravan. A very good one there. I'll just try to somehow respond to that question. So it's more like if you write maybe this one, it's more like you are saying on that Cartesian plane where you have the x-axis and the y-axis. It's more like you are saying it's only this part of f whereby you have f of x being greater or equals to 0. Whereas it's not only this side of -2, but also on this side of 2. You also have positive values on this side, positive values on the other side. So that is why it is necessary for you to do that so that you score 1, 2. Are you answered there, honorable member?
Yes, I'm answered.
100%. So what if maybe they said where f of x is less or equals to 0? So if they say where x where x is less or equals to 0, that means they are actually now asking about this portion, which is between -2 and 2. So it's more like this is a game of you trying to rewrite that. I'm just not sure if you guys are aware of that. But if now there it was less than, so it's more like I would punch on this side, also punch on that side, and check, and also punch in between and check which values are giving me a number which is less than or equals to 0. And I think if you punch 2, you are going to get 0. If you punch -2, you are going to get 0. If you punch any number in between, you are going to get a negative. So that means you say that's where x, it is between -2 and 2. So if the question asked s less than or is equals to, you're going to write it like this. But if is the one for greater than, then this is how you answer that question. Or otherwise, if you want to, if you don't want to represent it like that and want to represent it as separate answers, it's more like, I think we're going to say where x in that direction a greater or equals to 2, or where x now in that direction being less, or it's equals to 2. Even though this might be tricky in a sense that there's no restriction, it's more like you're saying where x is less or equals to 2, and anything less or equals to 2, it's these values in between and also everything up until infinity. So that means this way it won't work, because it's more like you're saying from 2 going all the way in that direction and from that going all the way in that direction. So it won't work. You just had to write it exactly the same way I wrote it, where you say that's where x is between -2 and 2. So that's how you answer this question to get 2 marks. That's if they said less than there. But now, what if they said less than and did not say less or is equals to? The same explanation, you just don't write that as well. Even here, if they said where f of x is greater than x, you just don't write that and write exactly as it is as explained. Did you guys get it there? Did it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lerato? Mpokoto?
Yes,
Usasekhona
I
lapho?
get it.
Shreyas, fill in the missing word. I'm going to say this for Lerato. Lerato, you get it. If you don't get it, Shreyas,
Forget about it.
forget about it. So guys, thanks very much for joining. I hope you did enjoy as much as I did. Just make sure that you practice some more of this type of questions. So I think on tomorrow's lesson, I might try to check for another function of which we will try and treat, because I don't just select any question. I try to check if it covers most of the stuff that you guys need to be aware of. But I hope you guys learned some new stuff over there. So guys, thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond. Have a very good night, and I'm out.
Thank you, sir.